February 15th, 2019. I'm Ivana Dias.
And I'm Lily Walsh. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Beginning in the fall semester of 2019, Xavier students living on campus will have access to laundry in a very different way than before. Right now, students pay Xcash for every load of laundry they do. This fall, students will instead pay a housing fee each semester to use washing machines and dryers. While the details are still being negotiated, Connects believes this change is for the better, as students will be less likely to overload the machines and break them. Some students, however, feel differently, as many local students take their laundry home and some don't use the machines as often as others.
Girl Up XU is a club that has been recently introduced to Xavier from spring 2019. With only a few meetings, Girl Up was able to receive funding from the university and has had numerous ideas in store for this upcoming year. Girl Up focuses on educating women about women in the world, both locally and internationally. Members can count on learning more about women from other countries, watching documentaries, videos, and becoming empowered. Girl Up XU meets on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Alter 207. Everyone is welcome to attend.
Last week, Claremont County Police responded to a call about a suicidal individual with a gun. As they went to investigate, this man fired his gun through a wall, shooting Lieutenant Nick DeRose and fatally wounding Deputy Bill Brewer, 42. The suspect was identified as 23-year-old Wade Edward Wynn. Wynn is guilty of luring police officers and fatally assaulting the police. He is currently facing charges for attempted aggravated murder and aggravated murder. His bail is set at $10 million. Deputy Brewer's death was the fifth officer casualty in Ohio since the start of 2019. Thousands of people gathered to pay their respects to the officer during his service on February 8th. Over 600 cars are part of a procession carrying Brewer's body to the Pierce Township Cemetery, and hundreds more people lined the streets to thank the deputy for his service.
This year, the Cincinnati Children's Hospital received a record-breaking amount of 500,000 electronic valentines. The manager of annual giving at Cincinnati Children's, Liz Smith, stated, quote, "It just warms my heart because each one is someone who took the time to think about our patient families and submit a message," end quote. Cards came from over 130 countries and all 50 states. The Child Life Facility dog, Alicia, delivered handmade valentines to the rest of the children. The e-card program has been going on since 2014 and is a joyous way to spread love through the hospital every Valentine's Day.
Hundreds of thousands of students and adults across Florida and beyond bowed their heads in a moment of silence. This was to mark the one-year anniversary of the shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School yesterday. The massacre on Valentine's Day last year inflamed the national debate over guns, turned young people into political activists, and gave rise to some of the biggest youth demonstrations of the century. Marjory Stoneman Douglas students went to school wearing burgundy #MSD Strong t-shirts, and 17 clear plastic angels, one for each victim, were erected. Weeks after the massacre last year, Florida's Republican-controlled legislature raised the age to buy a rifle from 18 to 21 and passed a red flag law allowing judges to take away the weapons of those who seem dangerous. Other states, however, moved in the opposite direction. They are making it easier to carry weapons in public and strengthening legal protections for people who claim they shot someone in self-defense. In all, 40 states passed some kind of legislation related to guns in 2018.
Home in Houston. A Houston local entered the house as a trespasser when he found the tiger living there. He quickly alerted authorities and the police arrived on scene. The condition of the house was poor. Authorities are still investigating who owns the property and how they managed to keep an illegal animal in their possession. The tiger was so overweight that it had to be tranquilized and removed from the house with a truck. Animal Control has custody of the tiger and will continue to care for it until it has found a home.
All right, that's all from the news desk, people.
We'll be right back with Lucas Robbins and the Xavier Sports Report.
Good afternoon. Back to Xavier Sports. I'm Lucas Robbins, and I hope you are having a wonderful Singles Awareness Day. Like that holiday, today's broadcast is a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, and a bit of mixed bag of news. I tend to think of myself as a pretty positive person, so let's start off on the bright side with the Xavier women's tennis team, as they had a dominant showing last Sunday at Georgetown. The Musketeers won with a 4-0 score of their matches against the Hoyas, moving to 2-0 for Big East play on the season and a 4-2 record overall. They will take on the Miami of Ohio Redhawks next Sunday for their home opener of the season. Best of luck, ladies, and keep riding the momentum. A quick shout out before we get to the bad news. First year Anna Costarellis of the Xavier track and field team set a new Xavier record for the 3,000 meter run with a 9 minutes and 33 seconds time, placing in the top 5 of her race in the Music City Challenge last weekend. Absolutely incredible. Congrats to Anna and the rest of the team for their amazing performances, and I look forward to seeing their results in the Big East Championship next weekend. Unfortunately, the bad news again relates to Xavier basketball, as the women's team fell to Butler last Friday night by a 63-38 margin at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. There were positives in the game, as for a stretch the Musketeers held the Bulldogs to a 0-5 field goal rate towards the end of the first quarter. Ariana Gray had her 16th double-digit rebounding effort for the season, and the Musketeers were able to spread the court with 9 three-pointers made between 5 different players. However, these valiant efforts weren't enough for the team last Sunday, as they fell behind 16-6 early and never was able to recover. Tonight, Xavier will refocus and face off against the Providence Friars at 7 p.m. in the Cintas Center. If you aren't able to make it to the game, don't worry. This one will be televised on Fox Sports 2 nationwide, so be sure to tune in. Last but certainly not least, the Xavier men's basketball team had a very mixed bag of a week. Last Saturday, the team lost 74-62 for their 6th straight loss to DePaul, despite Najee Marshall's 22-point performance. The most disappointing stat from the game was definitely the 16-0 scoring margin that DePaul went on to end the game, giving us the longest losing streak since the 1981-82 season. I'm not salty one bit about that game, but instead, from a glass-half-full perspective, the team was able to reassess themselves and get on the right track this Wednesday versus Creighton. The losing streak was mercifully snapped when they got their first win exactly a month after their last one, with a nail-biting game ending in a 64-61 victory. Sophomore Najee Marshall again led the Musketeers in scoring with a 23-point game, along with a career-high 5 three-pointers made. Quentin Gooden recorded his 400th assist of his career, now sitting 10th all-time behind Lionel Chalmers with 405 assists. The Musketeer faithful can take a nice deep sigh of relief that the team might have turned a corner after so many tight losses this season. Next up for the Xavier is a matchup against Providence tomorrow at 2 p.m. Be sure to watch the game and hopefully see another W on Fox. And that's it for Xavier Sports. Have a lovely Singles Awareness Day, and as always, let's go X.